Greetings, everyone, from the Lakwara School of Coaching in association with Stan Houston, based in the United States, of the Coaching Experience. We are going to refer this brief in the future simply as LSC. So whenever you hear the word LSC, it refers to the association between Stan and I to impart uh, learning on a journey that you are about to embark. And we thank you for coming online and listening to us. So I will begin with a slight introduction on what I do, what is my background. My name is Sandeep Lakwara, and it is a pleasure talking to you. I have been a business advisor for several decades in the earlier phase of my work experience in Australia. And as business advisor, I used to connect with and advise businesses, large and small, on various aspects related to growth of the business, profitability of the business, planning, structuring, etc. That journey ultimately culminated into me coming to India as a C-suite executive of a major company that was listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange. There was a lot of learning from this particular company. There were successes, there were challenges, there were opportunities, and of course, there were some failures along the line as well. And all of this has gone into the learning curve and something that I strongly believe that I am able, therefore, to impart to all of you going forward into the future. That learning, together with the kind of passion that I've developed within to be a coach, led me to speak to Stan, who has been in this industry for several decades, and form what we call the LSC. So that's a little bit about me. I am going to introduce Stan Houston in terms of what he has been doing. So Stan is a renowned teacher, an international broadcaster, and a business performance coach that has been training executives all over the world, globally, for several decades. He has set up his own powerful training techniques that you will hear about as you progressively listen to the various recordings that we are going to present to you via this channel. And along the line, Stan is also a great storyteller. So I am sure he's going to make your journey very, very interesting and easy to learn and easy to listen to. So what do we do at Lakwara School of Coaching, LSC, as I said? We are essentially training entrepreneurs, corporate executives, uh, business people in terms of achieving their objectives, helping them achieving their objectives through structured programs that have been devised uh, based on learnings essentially imparted by the International Federation of Coaching, of which I have done the course. I am a certified life coach, business coach, and an executive coach. It has been a rigorous learning process, but I must say that having done it, there is just so much that I have picked up as a result. So it would be great for you to listen to both Stan and I in terms of what we have to say going forward into the future, and particularly in terms of empowering those executives in terms of achieving their objectives through structured programs that we have devised for you. Quite apart from that, we also have a coaching school where we actually teach you how to be a coach. There are 20 odd topics that we cover, and the topics range from the fundamentals of coaching, the principles of coaching, barriers to coaching, a co-creative relationship that needs to be set up between the coach and the coachee, accountability, business action plans, timelines, timeframes. All of these would have to be set, and this is done on a one-to-one basis, and it is structured to suit your individual needs. We also have trainers that impart health and wellness and well-being coaching and training, Stan himself is a wellness coach, but we also have specialized wellness coaches that you can listen to as time goes on to give you your personalized training, again, in helping your objectives, balance of mind, and well-being. So on that note, I would like to welcome Stan to this discussion. And perhaps Stan could start by talking a little bit about himself and his plans in terms of how him and I are going to participate going forward into the future. So over to you, Stan.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate this opportunity, and I appreciate your energy. Remember, it all comes down to energy. Creativity, energy, successful living is because people take charge of their lives and they do everything they can to create the personal attraction, the energy that brings others into the place where they want to achieve better and greater things. You said I was a storyteller, so let me tell you my story. As I've discovered, every very successful executive and leader has both stars and scars. They have things that they have accomplished and done well, and they have also suffered, oftentimes, difficulties come through them, and their stars match their scars, and oftentimes that's what made them great. Here's my story. I was a teacher for many years, and after that, I thought, well, I'd want to do something differently, because I always said, find out what some of your real loves are. And I loved broadcasting. So I said, I wanted to go back and be a broadcaster. So I went to one of the finest schools. Same time I was teaching, I would go at night school, became a broadcaster, worked with an international organization called Trans World Radio, which broadcast all around the world. And that took me to Latin America, to Europe, and a variety of places. And things were going pretty well. But then there was, because of a leadership change, a major career crash. And my goodness, all of a sudden, as my wife said to me with an expression, she said, well, this is exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping that after 20 years, we'd have no house, no car, no job, no money, broke, and a kid in college. Yeah, well, there I was. And then I figured out I had done everything well that I knew of. I hadn't done anything wrong. I hadn't messed up. But I said, I missed something. And so I said, I'm going to try and find out what I missed and how I can be more successful. And what I discovered is that nobody had ever taught me. They taught me how to teach. They taught me how to live. They taught me how to broadcast. And I was all good at those things. But no one had taught me how to be successful in the marketplace. How to be what my mentor said, Stan, only 3% of the population know who they are, what they really want in life, and then they have a plan to get it. Only 3%. Most people are kind of doing their careers and their life, by what comes next. And so I said, I want to be one of the 3. And he said, okay, I will coach you on how to be one of the 3%. And we started that very rigorous course. And I discovered that there were all kinds of things about setting goals, managing my life, being effective, knowing how to communicate. All of those things that actually have nothing to do with the product or service that I'm about, but how I live, how I manage people, how I take risks, how I increase my level of courage, how I know how to market and sell myself. And so I began more about particularly cross-cultural work because I wanted to be involved in that. And then I finally decided that I was going to try it myself. And so I risked it and went out and I said, I'm going to start a company called Press Toward the Mark, and we're going to help you make your marks out in life and in the marketplace. How to win friends, influence people. That's what Dale Carnegie said. I've got to learn how to do that. And so for the last 20 plus years, I've been working primarily with entrepreneurs and business leaders who have simply said this: I want to be one of the best. And as one of them said, this was the story he told me, okay? And this goes back a few years, all right, okay? He said, the reason I'm hiring you is someone told me this story. And they talked about the famous golfer at that time called Tiger Woods, and one of the great opera stars called Luciano Pavarotti. And he said, Stan, do you know what Luciano Pavarotti and Tiger Woods have in common? Here's a golf player and a tenor musician. I said, what? He said, Stan, here's what they have in common. They love what they do. They're really good at what they do. They're one of the best. But you know why? Because they both still have coaches. They have a coach. Tiger Woods, the best golf player in the world, has a coach. Luciano Pavarotti, the best opera performer in the world, he still has a coach. And he said, I know that I can coach you somewhat, but I want you to help me be one of the best. And by the way, the nice thing will be, Stan, is you help me be one of the best, I'll be able to help you be a better coach. And so what I discovered when we came across each other, I discovered that truly, hey, Sandeep, you're one of the 3%. You really are. Through your life experience, you figured out what you want out of life. You figured out what you really love to do. You figured out how you're going to do it, and you're working a plan to make it happen. And that's called performance. And it all comes down to performance. So I'm working with a man who knows what to do. And I think the two of us can help you figure out what you should do and how to do it well. That's my story, and I'm sticking by it.
Thank you, Stan. That was very good. Okay, so what we are going to do is just give you a little bit of a teaser, and I'm talking to the listeners here, just give you a little bit of teaser on what kind of discussion you can expect or what kind of interaction you can expect in our next video. So we are today simply going to talk about, what is executive coaching? What do executive coaches do? What is wellness coaching? What do wellness coaches do? How do you become a coach? What are the kind of, as is hinted on some of the topics that we do cover, but, talk a little bit more in detail of what is involved in becoming a coach. And I think we need to make a very distinct distinction between a coach and a consultant. We are talking about a coaching school and coaching training, which is very different from being a consultant. And to kind of distinguish this difference, let me give you an example. A consultant is generally an expert in the industry that he is practicing. He may be a consultant in the tech industry, he may be a consultant in the medical industry, he may be a consultant in the sports and health and wellness industry. So he is an expert guiding you, telling you, advising you what you need to do. Whereas a coach, on the other hand, is not doing that at all. What the coach is doing is trying to help you achieve your objectives in business or in life through certain steps that have been time tested, that are structured, that have timelines, that are then graded, progress is ascertained. But in effect, it is trying to bring, or those coaches are trying to bring the best out of you and not necessarily impart training in terms of, or advice in terms of what you do. We cannot be experts in every industry. The people that we train come from anywhere and everywhere. They could be executives, as I said earlier, in the tech industry, in the medical industry, in the sporting industry, in the health and wellness industry, you name it. They could be experts in that industry. Now, we believe very strongly, you are the expert. You set your goals, you set your objectives. Let us help you get there. So I hope that distinction is well understood by the people that are listening to us. Okay, so let's then go back and say what is executive coaching? I have basically executive coaching is geared towards executives, corporate leaders, business leaders, as opposed to individuals at large. So these are guys generally in the C-suite category. They could be CEOs, CXOs, anything of that nature. And they are essentially leaders, business leaders in their organization. They could be entrepreneurs that have recently set up an entrepreneurial organization, and they have a vision. They have a set of goals, which we help them elaborate, help them structure the whole plan, put some timelines, put some reporting processes in place, and at the end of it, evaluate how they achieve that. And to go through the steps, there are lots and lots of things that a coach is trained to do. Some of them as basic as creating a co-creative relationship where you are equally responsible as the coach who is helping you achieve the objectives. We also very strongly believe in the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule simply says that we are more of an active listener than a talker. You do 80% of the talking, we listen 80% of the time. We only come in on the 20% to guide you through the route to help you achieve those objectives. So executive coaches are trained to do that. What is executive coaching is basically what I have covered. Similarly, with wellness coaching, it is more to do with mental health and well-being, but the processes that are followed are very, very similar. You have an action plan, you have a set of objectives, you have defined timelines, you have the structured program which you need to follow, and the structured program could be over a period of weeks, it could be over a period of months. It depends on the extent of your requirement. And all of these things are essentially discussed at the beginning of the training process, at the beginning of the coaching process is what I should say. And you will know precisely what you will achieve at the end of the timeline that has been set up at the very beginning of the course. So these are the two areas that we want to specialize in, that we are specializing in. And the third thing that we do is also teach you how to become a coach. Now, bear in mind that not every coach needs to be certified. There is a certified coaches alliance based in Vancouver, which is an international organization which has specific courses that you can do. But if those courses, from a time perspective or from from your work-life balance, is not achievable at the moment, our courses are basically a lot shorter, to the point, but cover every aspect that you need to cover, that need to be covered for you to become a coach. There are no examinations at the end of this our coaching program, as they are in a certified scenario, and we do not dish out any certificates, other than if you request, we will obviously issue a certificate to the effect that you have covered this course. Along the lines, we also help you in marketing techniques. We help you in setting your pricing structure, which I think is very, very important. We help you discover your own niches. Not everyone wants to be an executive coach. Not everyone wants to be a corporate coach. There may be those that want to be, as I say, a mental health and well-being coach. There are those that may wish to train in the sportsing industry. There are those that may be, there are multiple marriage counselors, career counseling. There are multiple coaches coaching niches that you can develop. So that is entirely up to you. And perhaps as a result of undertaking this program, and I might add that this program is entirely online, you can buy the program from our website. There are the accesses that are provided for you to do that, and you can absorb the details in your own time, at your own pace. There are 20 odd lectures and 20 odd recordings that give you in detail a step-by-step process in terms of how to become a coach. So with that, I would say that you have something more to look forward to in our next interaction with Stan, where we go through a little bit more in details as to what we talk about in terms of executive coaching, in terms of wellness coaching, in terms of how to become a coach. That is a little bit more detailed knowledge than what we have imparted to you today. So with that, Stan, do you have any closing comments that you would like to make as well?
I just simply say, please consider this. What the world doesn't need are more experts. We've got plenty of experts, and you're probably already one. I remember one of my first clients was in the financial services, world-class guy in insurance. And he said, Stan, the reason I'm hiring you is because you don't know a thing about insurance. He said, there are lots of people who I could talk to about insurance. He said, I'm hiring you because you will give me another view of the world and how to be successful in it, because you've learned the practices. I don't need another consultant. I don't need another expert. I need someone who cares enough about me to help me perform at my very best. And that's why I'm hiring you. And that's what we want to do for you. You're the expert. You're the guy. You're the woman. You're the person who knows your company and your industry. But just as Tiger Woods knew golf, he still said, I need someone who likes me, cares for me, and connects with me, and is going to help me perhaps see some things differently, try some opportunities, and in effect, have the courage. Remember, if you're an executive, you're in charge of making things happen.
Yes.
You're also in charge of doing exactly what Sandeep said. You are to be coached to others. There are younger men and younger women in your organization who have leadership potential. And your job as an executive is to help them develop their skills and their abilities and their attitudes. Be a coach. Have a coach and be a coach. That's what the world needs now, is more good coaches. Thank you.
Wonderful, and thank you, Stan, and thank you all of all of the listeners who have decided to listen to us. Much appreciated, and we look forward to you revisiting us when we do our next recording, which should be progressively done. So, for now, goodbye and good luck.